The world keeps turning, and so do video games. PvP or RPG, there's always something going on in all things gaming. Sometimes it's a lot to keep up with, but fear not, you busy bees. I'm Bina, and I'm here to buzz you in to the hips and happenings of the gaming world. So buckle up, because we're in for a ride. After posting a tweet announcing the music from Marvel's Spider-Man will be included in the Game Awards 10-year concert, Insomniac was bombarded by angry fans asking, "Where the hell is Spider-Man 2?" Insomniac simply replied with Fall 2023. Everything was well and good until one fan pushed it a little too far. It was at this moment that Insomniac chose violence and clapped back. "We're in the kitchen, it smells good in there, but we just ask for a little more patience. We get it. It has been a while since we've heard anything official. The news surrounding the sequel so far have just been leaks by people working on the game. We're looking at you, Tony Todd. Or just rumors. Fall is right around the corner, and we still haven't gotten any updates other than Venom's appearance. Still, it doesn't justify any untoward and rude behavior. So, let them cook, as the kids these days say. Insomnia hasn't failed us yet, and we're well aware of their great track record and that all eyes are on them. I'm sure the team is working hard to make sure they don't disappoint anyone." Fans from different regions were taken aback when the price of two of Sony's games, Sackboy and Returnal, had increased pretty high. A user from the video game forum, Reset Era, recently posted the prices of the games on the Steam store were raised. The regions that were affected by inflated prices are Argentina, Canada, Chile, China, Colombia, Japan, and South Korea. On average, the increase ranges from 6 to 10%, but we can't say the same for Argentina cause, is this right? Holy Moses, there's a 60% increase in their prices. Sorry, Argentina. Unfortunately, Sackboy and Returnal aren't the only titles that were affected. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone, and 2018's God of War, a couple of Sony's biggest PC ports, received such treatment. Sony has yet to comment or officially announce the inflation, but boy oh boy, fans aren't happy. But they aren't surprised either, as this wasn't the first time the price for Sony titles was adjusted. Back in 2022, the tech group officially announced that retail prices for PS5 games will be adjusted due to the global economic environment. And let's face it, gaming is a pretty expensive hobby. Come on, admit it. I know you spend more than you should on video games. So we kinda have to side with the community on this one. Retail prices are ridiculously high nowadays, but we also have to remember that companies have to make the money they spend in producing the games you love, so maybe keep that in mind as well. Although it would be fair if Sony just made a formal announcement while being more transparent about the price hikes. Capcom just shared a ton of awesome content for Street Fighter 6 in a showcase presented by Lil Wayne. The showcase features the 3 game modes in the 6th installment of the franchise: World Tour, Battle Hub, and Fighting Ground. World Tour allows players to customize their own characters and navigate the world of Street Fighter in a brand new single-player mode. Fight against players all over the world in the game's Battle Hub, or chill out and relive your childhood in the classic arcade games. Play with your friends locally in the Classic Versus mode in Fighting Ground, or practice your skills to be an efficient fighter. Capcom also revealed the characters that will join the fight and announced the demo. That's a ton of new info, and lots of Street Fighter fans are pretty pumped up. Capcom just brought the biggest smiles to everyone's faces. Everybody's excited to get their hands on this game, and we understand why. While beyond ecstatic to see their favorite players return, they aren't really too excited for the long wait. But that just means everyone is too hyped about it, and I am too. You can feel the love and attention the devs put into this, and may I just say, it's looking to be one of the best ones yet. Having played the demo myself, I can see why everyone is optimistic about this release. With the game accessible and less intimidating with the modern control scheme. Am I the best player? Hell nah. Fighting games have always been tricky for me, but Capcom just gave me more of a fighting chance rather than pressing some random bullshit on my controller. On top of that, this has to be one of the best looking games in the series, and the soundtrack is bussin'. Can't wait to decimate my enemies as Chun-Li once the game is officially released. IGN just had a chance to play Redfall, and they have nothing but praises. Arcane has always been known for its amazing work with immersive sims, but now they're taking on a new challenge by making an open-world horror shooter. Fans were initially skeptical, but all their worries went out the window when IGN reported that Redfall is just as amazing as their previous titles. Sure, it's a little rough around the edges, but they did say that Arcane Austin will stay on top of things to make sure everyone experiences the game in its full glory. IGN reported that the game relies heavily on teamwork, both in gameplay and narrative. The stronger the bond you make with your teammates and the residents of Redfall, the smoother the gameplay will be. And boy, the community is jumping for joy. Their moods shifted from skepticism to full-on optimism after seeing the preview. I mean, there is everything for everyone. From beginners to veterans, everyone will surely have an amazing time with Redfall. And I've been waiting for months for Redfall. I wanted to get all the input I could off the net, and I can't believe it's coming next month. We're really in for it, people. It's time to show these bloodsuckers that Redfall ain't to be f***ed with. Sorry. Tango Gameworks shadow dropped their rhythm-based action game Hi-Fi Rush last January. Everyone from their cousin, cousin's mom, and cousin's second family loved the game, and so did I. Sadly though, it seems Microsoft ain't too happy with a simple applause. Hi-Fi Rush apparently underperformed and made less than what Microsoft was expecting, according to Jeff Grubb of the Game Mess Decided podcast. While this is definitely a shock, it hasn't stopped fans from enjoying the game. Everyone just fell in love with the phenomenal art design, enticing gameplay, not to mention the stellar soundtrack. Everyone just loved the game for the amount of passion the devs had for it. Sadly though, this is still business. The sad truth is, no matter how well received the game is, it still has to make back the money spent to make it. I am optimistic though. If the game is this good and gamers are still loving it, and continues to show how impactful it is on the playing field, there may still be hope for it to meet expectations. It might take some time though because of the near-absent marketing. Still, if it continues to get this much love, it has a chance to be financially successful. The first season of The Last of Us just concluded, and everybody loved it. Well, not everyone. But the HBO show is one of the better, if not the best, video game adaptation to date. But I think what everyone can agree upon is that the show needed more sequences with the infected that riddled the game in the original. It might have been because the writers wanted to focus on the characters rather than making another zombie show. Nevertheless, Neil Druckmann confirmed that the second season will definitely feature some more infected. He also verified that The Last of Us Part 2 will be adapted into more than just one season, meaning there's plenty of opportunity for them to add more bone-chilling scenes with the infected. The initial marketing for the series promised a ton of scenes with the infected, but apparently everything that we've seen in the trailers was just as much as we saw in the first season. Apart from Joel and Ellie's encounter with the clickers in the second episode and the bloater scene in episode 5, there's not much action in an action drama show. I think this is partly why some of the fans were turned off. Despite possibly breaking the video game adaptation curse, the HBO show still has a ways to go to deliver that sweet spot. Don't get me wrong, I love the story, but I do feel like scenes with the infected could have highlighted character details like Joel's brutality or Ellie's evolution from cargo to daughter, I mean a capable asset. Plus, we never got to see Joel use a brick or Ellie yell out, "Jesus, Joel!" We could have gotten fun character moments like these if the show incorporated more of that immersive action gameplay against those infected. It appears longtime content creator Markiplier is jumping on the video game adaptation trend with Ireland. Markiplier is set to produce, direct, and act in the movie based on the script he wrote as well. Sheesh, chill, Zaddy.
Smash.
Markiplier is joined by Will Hyde and Jeff Guerrero in producing the film, while Caroline Rose Kaplan is set to join him in the cast. Not much is known about the project, other than it's based on the game of the same name. Nevertheless, people seem excited about this. Fans aren't typically happy when a game is set to be adapted into a film. I mean, I understand that. Films based on video games never really had an amazing track record, but there is a significant improvement in quality in recent titles. Detective Pikachu, Sonic the Hedgehog, and most recently, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is beloved by both fans and critics alike. I mean, they're far from perfect, but these games were still very much enjoyable to many. Having played Ireland for a little bit, it feels like it's one of those games that would work well on the big screen. The game's got an eerie soundtrack, sinister atmosphere, and interesting lore. 3 traits that make a terrific horror thriller. You still have to wait for a bit to know more, but having the movie in the hands of someone just as passionate about the game as we are makes me a little more hopeful. And that's about it for now. I'm sure there's a lot more news out there we could have tackled, so why not leave a comment down below to tell us what you think is the biggest thing happening? Or why not leave a like or subscribe to our channel for all things gaming? And if you'd like to keep better up to speed, and perhaps would like to interact with our little hive, follow us on our Twitter. This has been Bean on the News, take care, and we'll see you around.